Clint Eastwood is one of those names that instantly brings to mind tough stares, few words, and unforgettable movies. But behind that cool, silent cowboy persona lies a story far more complicated than most people know. His life has been filled with hard times, huge success, personal drama, and even one film that he wishes he could erase from memory. From growing up during the Great Depression to becoming a Hollywood legend, Eastwood's story is a mix of grit, talent, and strong opinions. And when it comes to that one movie he can't stand, even fans are surprised by how strongly he feels about it. Clint Eastwood Jr. was born on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California. Times were tough. America was deep in the Great Depression, and his family didn't have much. They moved around constantly as his father looked for work, which meant Clint never had a stable childhood. This constant moving and struggling taught him two important things early on: the importance of hard work and how to stay quiet and strong during hard times. These traits would later help shape the unforgettable screen characters he became famous for. After high school, Clint didn't immediately head into acting. He took on all kinds of jobs. He worked as a lifeguard, a grocery clerk, a forest firefighter, even a golf caddy. But nothing really stuck. Then came the Korean War, and Clint was drafted into the U.S. Army. It was during his time in the military that he first got interested in acting. No one could have guessed that this quiet young man would soon become one of the biggest stars in the world. His big break came when he was cast as Rowdy Yates in the TV western Rawhide. At first, he was just another character in the show. But it didn't take long for viewers to notice him. There was something about his look, his voice, and the way he carried himself. Suddenly, he wasn't just a supporting actor. He was the reason people were tuning in. But Rawhide was just the beginning. Clint Eastwood became a global icon thanks to his role as the mysterious man with no name in the legendary Dollars trilogy directed by Sergio Leone. These films, A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, weren't just regular westerns. They changed everything. The style, the music, the characters. Nothing like this had been done before. And right at the center of it all was Clint, with his silent stares, slow movements, and deadly calm. By the time the 1970s rolled around, Eastwood had cemented his place in Hollywood. But he wasn't finished. That's when he introduced the world to one of his most famous roles, Dirty Harry. As Inspector Harry Callahan, Clint played a tough San Francisco cop who wasn't afraid to bend the rules to get justice. The character hit a nerve with audiences. At a time when people felt law and order were slipping, Harry Callahan showed up on screen ready to take matters into his own hands. The role became a symbol of rugged masculinity, something Eastwood would be known for the rest of his life. But Clint didn't want to be stuck in front of the camera forever. He had a bigger vision. In 1971, he directed his first film, Play Misty for Me. It was a bold move, but it paid off. Clint had a unique style. He liked to shoot fast, use natural lighting, and keep things simple. That approach worked. Over the years, he directed all kinds of films. Some were westerns, like High Plains Drifter and Pale Rider, while others were dramas that showed a softer, more emotional side, like The Bridges of Madison County. In 1992, he created one of his most praised works, Unforgiven. The film took a hard look at violence and regret and earned 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Eastwood. It was a moment of recognition that showed the world he wasn't just an actor. He was a serious filmmaker. And he didn't stop there. $1 Million Baby, released in 2004, proved once again that Eastwood could tell powerful stories. The film, which starred Hilary Swank and Morgan Freeman, won multiple Oscars and showed his ability to mix strength with heart. Later, he directed war films like Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima, telling stories from both the American and Japanese perspectives during World War II. That kind of storytelling was rare, and it earned him even more respect. Even outside of Hollywood, Eastwood stayed busy. In 1986, he was elected mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California. His 2-year term wasn't just a publicity stunt. He actually cared about the community and used his position to promote personal freedom and protect the environment. It was a clear sign of his independent spirit. He wasn't the type to just follow the crowd. But while his public life was filled with achievements, his personal life was far more complicated. He married Maggie Johnson in 1953, and their marriage lasted over 30 years. But during that time, Clint had several affairs, and many of them resulted in children. He had a daughter with stuntwoman Roxanne Tunis, a long relationship with actress Sandra Locke, children with flight attendant Jocelyn Reeves, and another daughter with actress Frances Fisher. His second marriage, to news anchor Dina Ruiz in 1996, brought a more public family image, especially with their daughter Morgan. For a short time, they even starred in a reality show called Mrs. Eastwood and Company, giving fans a rare look inside the Eastwood household. But like many of his past relationships, this one also ended in divorce in 2014. Even though Clint Eastwood is known for being calm and collected, there's one subject that still gets under his skin. And that's the film Two Mules for Sister Sarah. Released in 1970, the movie was supposed to be a fun mix of a western and comedy, co-starring Shirley MacLaine. On paper it looked like a solid idea. But for Eastwood, it was a creative nightmare. The movie is set during the French intervention in Mexico, with MacLaine playing a nun who joins Eastwood's character on a mission. But here's the twist. By the end of the film, it's revealed that she's not actually a nun but a prostitute pretending to be one. For Eastwood, the storyline felt forced and silly. The twist didn't sit right with him. He believed it made the film feel cheap and inconsistent with the serious tone they were trying to set. But it wasn't just the plot that bothered him. Working with Shirley MacLaine also proved difficult. Her acting style was big, loud, and expressive, completely opposite to Clint's quiet and minimal approach. The clash between the two made the entire experience frustrating. On top of that, director Don Siegel, who had worked with Eastwood on other projects, couldn't quite find the right balance between comedy and western action. The result was a film that felt awkward, and Eastwood walked away from the project feeling disappointed and disconnected. He dislikes the film so much that he refuses to watch it. Even decades later, he doesn't want to revisit it. That kind of strong feeling is rare for Eastwood, who usually keeps his opinions to himself. But Two Mules for Sister Sarah stands out as the one misstep in a career full of strong choices. It also marked a turning point. After that, Eastwood became more selective and focused on gaining full creative control over his films. Soon after, he directed High Plains Drifter and The Outlaw Josie Wales, both of which allowed him to shape every part of the production. These films were much more in line with his vision and helped rebuild his confidence as a filmmaker. Looking back, Clint Eastwood's career is one of the most impressive in Hollywood history. From the silent cowboy to the rule-breaking cop, from the small-town mayor to the Oscar-winning director, he's done it all. His work has influenced generations of actors and filmmakers, and his style remains one of the most recognizable in cinema. And yet, even legends have regrets. For Clint Eastwood, that regret is a film that most people don't even talk about anymore. But for him, it's a reminder of what happens when you lose control of your creative vision. That experience helped push him to take charge of his work, to demand more from himself and others, and to make the kind of movies that still stand the test of time. If you've ever watched one of Clint Eastwood's films and felt something, whether it was awe, fear, sadness, or excitement, it's because he put everything into it. Even now, past the age of 90, he continues to work, showing the world that passion, discipline, and clear vision can carry you through decades of success. His life hasn't been perfect, but it's been bold, and that's exactly what makes it so unforgettable. If you enjoyed hearing this untold side of Clint Eastwood's story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more surprising Hollywood stories, and leave a comment below telling us which Clint Eastwood movie is your favorite, or the one you think you should finally rewatch. Thanks for watching.